transmission.
Hi there, Overlord. In this transmission, I will be building the first addition to my Scorched Earth universe. The keywords for this build are endearing, heartwarming, and vomit. Let's begin, shall we?
Toy surgery.
For this build, we will need some cheap toys, some trash, any old trash will work, whatever tickles your fancy, so long as you're not tickling your fancy where I can see. Some air dry clay, baking soda, and most importantly, an imagination. Step 1. Play with your pieces. Try to find what makes sense to you. Then get busy. That's pretty much, it's only just one step. I don't have much more.
Drag, my most trusted servant. How could you be so foolish? How could you risk contacting me, drawing attention to yourself, and exposing us both to this miserable planet? Do you have any idea what you've done? The council was already angry with me, and now they've exiled us both to this rock. And for what? Your impatience, your selfish desire to shorten your own exile. You should have known better. You should have shown more discipline, more loyalty. Instead, you've doomed us both to suffer on this barren world, surrounded by inferior beings. I can see the potential of this place. I can see the resources we could explore, the armies we could build, the power we could seize. But all of that is for nothing if we cannot maintain control. And you, Dreg, have made the task much more difficult. I have been biding my time, waiting for the right moment to make my move. But now, because of you, we are under a microscope. Every move we make will be scrutinized. Every mistake we make will be magnified. Our path back to the throne will be much more treacherous now. I am disappointed in you, Dreg. You were once my most valued ally, and now you are nothing but a burden. But I will not abandon you. I will make the best of this situation, and when the time is right, we will find a way back to the throne. And when we do, you had better hope that I have forgotten this transgression. From this moment on, you will follow my orders without question. You will prove your loyalty to me, or suffer the consequences. Do you understand, Dreg? I will not tolerate any more mistakes.
What? Overlord? I totally didn't expect you to make a sudden appearance in today's transmission.
Of course it is I, the Overlord. Did you not hear the very deep, emotionally moving monologue I just performed? Am I going to have to repeat it again?
Hold on a second. Is your voice AI generated? And are you reading off a script generated by ChatGPT?
I have not taken into account how living among primates would have slowed your mental processes. You are a moron. Nonetheless, I will let you continue your transmission, so long as I get to explain the history behind what you were building.
Good grief, you're so long-winded. Ugh. Anyway, for this build, I was just doodling. Like all my other builds, I had no real clear plan, purpose, or vision. I think it turned out pretty well. But I did know I wanted to use these plastic bottles. I think they held flavor for water or something. I don't know, I had a couple of them, and I knew they needed to be used. I know when I am truly alive, when I have to peel super glue off my fingers. There were a lot of gaps that I needed to fill in, and I didn't want it to make it look like I was using plastic bottles, so I used air dry clay to cover everything up. These two pieces I put on top are from Final Faction. I think they're alien weapons or something. I just cut off the grips and glued them right to the top. I wanted the arms to stick on there securely, so I glued some EVA foam on, and then I glued the EVA foam to the bottle. This little piece was from Final Faction also, but I didn't want the whole piece. I just want the end, and it took forever to cut it off. I didn't want the skin to look all one piece, so I just modeled bits and pieces together. Kind of wanted to look like a shell. With this piece, I was really experimenting with the amount of air dry clay I used. I'm a real big novice when it comes to modeling clay and making textures and whatnot, so It was a really good learning, growing, stretching experiment. Adding a bit of super glue and baking soda to fill in these holes. This head was not my first choice for this creature. I worked extensively on another head and realized there was just too much going on with it, so I went with this much simpler, insectoid looking head. Now's never a good time to do this, but I'm doing it right now. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the bell icon if you would, so you know when my new stuff drops. Also, leave a comment below. Tell me, tell me about, I don't know, tell me something random about your life. That sounds good, yeah. Tell me about your life. I'm not joking. One of the best things that have come out of this channel is not the builds. It's not getting my videos seen all over the world. It's the fact that I'm being able to interact with people from all over the world and talk to y'all. It is truly amazing. I'm loving that part of it so much.
Painting.
In painting this, I thought I need to get away from the same color scheme I've been painting my other stuff. So I painted it green. And then after it's done, it's sitting up on my shelf with a bunch of my other builds, and they're all green. I realized I had failed tragically, like awfully humongous failure. Hopefully in my next build, I will be able to stray away from green. I don't know what it is. I'm building a creature and I'm like, hey, that guy, he needs to be green. And not just like a single shade of green. He needs to be like lots of different variations of green. Because he's an alien and everybody knows that aliens, they're green. So after a green base coat and then a dry brushing of green, I did some burnt umber washes over the whole thing. But I wanted the face to pop, so I repainted the entire head completely different colors, so it's kind of the focal point of the whole piece. I think this is my favorite shot right here. This guy has some really jacked arms with some very pronounced veins. I wanted them to stand out, so I just highlighted them as best as I could. When I was a kid, there was a turtle that lived in our backyard, and this dog got after it. It didn't hurt the turtle, but the turtle started bleeding between its plates a little bit. That's kind of what I want to emulate here, that there is some scruffy, some damage to it, and that it is bleeding a little bit between the plates. Just a few more highlights and this thing is ready for the glamour shots. I'll let Overlord tell you all about the backstory. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later.
Greetings. Today, I will be sharing with you the story of one of the Scorch's most fearsome weapons in their quest for galactic domination, the Gornax. As our empire expanded, we encountered many challenges in our mission to conquer new worlds. The indigenous life forms on these planets were often dangerous and posed a threat to our invasion forces. That's why our scientists turned to genetic engineering to create the perfect solution, a diverse range of creatures specifically designed to be the first wave of attack in our invasions. The Gornax is one of these creations. The Gornax is a four-legged, four-armed insectoid creature with razor-sharp claws, an unbreakable exoskeleton, and powerful weapons integrated into its body. Its exceptional sense of smell, lightning-fast reflexes, and hive mind allow it to coordinate and communicate with other members of its species, making it an even more effective attacker. Its appearance alone is enough to strike fear into the hearts of our enemies. But the Gornax is more than just a mindless killing machine. Its advanced brain is capable of processing large amounts of data and making split-second decisions, which allows it to adapt to changing circumstances on the battlefield. Whether it's fighting against a highly organized military or navigating through dense jungle terrain, the Gornax is equipped to handle any situation. The Gornax, along with many other genetic hybrids, were created in massive numbers and stored in suspended animation on our spaceships, ready to be deployed when needed. Our strategy was simple. Drop a few of these creatures on a planet's surface and let them wreak havoc and subdue the indigenous life forms. And it worked. Planet after planet fell to our invasion forces, with the Gornax and other genetic hybrids leading the charge. But as effective as the Gornax is, it is still just one of many weapons in our arsenal. Each genetic hybrid was specifically designed to serve a different purpose and address a different challenge. Whether it's the massive, armored tank-like creatures capable of bulldozing through any obstacle, or the flying creatures with their incredible speed and agility, our invasion forces are equipped to handle any situation. So that is the story of the Gornax, one of the Scorch's many fearsome weapons designed to clear the way for our ground forces in our mission to conquer new worlds. Remember it well, for you never know when you may encounter one of these creatures in the future. And remember, the Scorch will stop at nothing to achieve our goal of galactic domination.
End transmission.